314-15001.
Second.
Mr. Shanti?
Yes.
Mr. Cora, absent. Mr. Summers, absent. Ms. Jackson?
Yes.
Ms. Mateo?
Yes.
Mr. Winfield?
Yes.
Ms. Arthur?
On resolution A.5006, I'm going to ask Ms. Carroll to come up to make the presentation for the board on this resolution. She's president of the OASA. Is Dr. Carroll in the house? Yes.
Make some comments on your contract with your supervisor.
Good evening, Dr. Howard and board members. On behalf of the Orange Administrative Supervisors Association, OSA, we thank you for working collaboratively with us and our negotiations team in being able to resolve our contract negotiations, and we are pleased at the outcome and the memorandum of agreement that we have been able to work together on, and tonight that OSA has both ratified and you have ratified. So thank you for working with us, and we look forward to exercising our new contract. Thank you.
Now, to the public, each meeting we have public comment. The floor is now open for anyone to come forward or to express their concern, and we'd like to let this done in an orderly manner. And please state your name and your address as you approach the matter.
At this time, I'd like members of the public who will be coming up for public comment that you advise that you only allow 3 minutes per speaker. And we will try to make sure we adhere to those 3 minutes because we have a large number of speakers here tonight. All right, thank you. Please state your name and come up to the mic for 3 minutes.
Mic on? My name is Ralph Pointer. I started teaching in 1957. I taught everything from 4th grade common branches to American literature, Columbia University. And the story I have to tell tonight is very relevant because in 1965 in New York City, there was a teacher who took his students to hear a poet read his literature and his poetry, and they removed him from the class. Well, we fought in the streets to put him back in that classroom. And many years later, he became principal. But the real issue is, the name of that poet was Leroy Jones. The late Emira Baraka, who became poet emeritus of New Jersey. And what I warned this group about is what may happen when those who make decisions about what's going on in the schools are not in step with the community. It's making decisions for us. Now I hope that 50 years later we have learned that lesson. Because, as you can see, if you have not learned a lesson, there are those here, including myself, ready to teach it again. Reflect the mood and the emotions and the privileges of the community you claim to serve. Thank you.
My name is Annette Alston. Oh, I'm sorry.
Good evening. I just wanted to find out from the board members that attended the National School Board Conference. I'm sorry, my name is Dwight Holmes, address 376 Hawthorne Street here in the city of Orange Township. I want to find out from the board members, for those that attended that conference, what you learned from the conference and how you can implement what you learned to help the residents and the students of the city.
Mr. Holmes, I have a package to review because the meeting at a time for all board members to work with here. By the audience here. So, all right. Mr. Holmes is a resident of Orange. Any board member here, will you agree with what I told you? Yes. Okay, we will, I have a package for you, Mr. Holmes, which I will review tonight, okay? Thank you. After the board meeting, maybe are you going to leave? Okay, thank you. Next.
Good evening. My name is Annette Alston. When I was teaching second grade in Portuguese,
Excuse me, your address?
20 Colleen Street, Newark, New Jersey. When I was teaching second grade in the Portuguese section of Newark, one of my students was heard using the word nigger. Another student talked to me very nonchalantly about how he would talk to another student because they were darker than he was. Had I not seized these opportunities as teachable moments to focus on social justice, I would have been negligent as a teacher. As teachers, is it responsible to teach our children about the injustices of the past while ignoring the realities of the injustices we face today? Parents and children watch a 50-year-old man being shot 5 times in the back by a police officer over and over again this past week. Thanks to cell phones, the world has once again gotten a glimpse into the reality that Black and people of conscience pride has existed since slavery. There's a lesson in social justice and compassion there, and it needs to be taught. Very few people in prison have voices that go beyond the wall. It's my job to do the work for them because they have no one. This is a quote from Mumia Abu-Jamal. They didn't have camera cell phones back 34 years ago when he, a part-time radio broadcaster and taxi cab driver, happened to see his brother being brutalized by a police officer. We don't know for sure what happened that day. The only thing that we can say for sure is that Mr. Jamal did not receive a fair trial. Yet, in the 34 years that he has served in prison, Mumia has maintained his humanity in the face of inhumane conditions. And in that time, he has become a teacher, like me, and like Marilyn Zuniga. As a teacher, Mumia has educated people to the realities of the prison system, and he has provided the world necessary lessons and empathy. He has taught us that no matter the circumstances a human being may find himself or herself in, they are deserving of our compassion. It is clearly a lesson that all of us need to learn, whether we are in 3rd grade or sitting on the Board of Education. Ms. Zuniga tapped into these lessons and made them authentic. In history, we show our children the photographs of children working on farms, the factories, covered in soot and coal mines and unable to go to school. We show them photographs of victims of hatred in Nazi camps or hanging from trees here in America. We show women across the country and Black people in the South being denied the right to vote. And we see institutions of mental health in prisons where people are not treated with humanity or compassion.
Excuse me, Ms. Austin.
Yes.
For 3 minutes alone. Thank you.
My name is Marjorie. I reside at 446 Avenue, Orange, New Jersey, and I come here as a former educator. I'm basically here to support the suspended teachers. who was suspended for engaging her students in a social justice trial. Now, it is very challenging to get our children writing, to embark upon things that they are interested in. Now, I think it was wise for teachers to use tools within their power to encourage students to learn for themselves. I'm not here for a pro or negative. I'm basically here for this teacher who decided that she wanted to engage her students in a project that would show compassion. I understand they did send some correspondence. Now, at one point, I would hope that those students that engage in this project, that they will go out and do research on their own and become self-aware of what is going on in this world. So I just think, I know the board has probably already made their decision with this teacher. Please let me in. Thank you. So what I'm saying is, you'll probably, it is probably not, you'll probably either encourage this teacher to resign. If not, you're going to probably write her out of your budget. I'm aware of the education system, but my thing is, I just think that if you have someone in the public school system, she's young, I understand, not in her first job, perhaps it would have been wiser to call her in and talk to her one-on-one, and then that could have been something resolution made. Thank you.
Yes, I would like to yield my time to Mrs. Annette.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. He can yield the time. Yes, you can. It's a public meeting. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Based on the Board of Education law, you can yield your time. Yes, you can. Democracy looks like. We know what democracy looks like. Yes. Looks like. Of course.
We denied the right to vote. And we see institutions of mental health in prisons where people are not treated with humanity or compassion.
He can use his time. Yes, he can. This is democracy. He can use his time. Yes, he is. A public meeting. It's a public meeting. It's a public meeting. Yes, he can. And these guys don't get it, man. No, you can't tell him to leave. It's a public meeting. You can't tell him to leave. What the hell? You can't tell him to leave. You're not doing anything right. Come on, man. You can't leave. You can't tell him to leave. You can't tell him to leave. What are you, a police? You can't tell him to leave. And you're the secretary, man. You're the secretary.
My name is Lisa Davis. I'm a resident of this community. I grew up in this community. My father was perhaps one of the first black police officers in East Orange. And I had my brothers serve this community in East Orange in various capacities, and I also am a community activist who have dedicated my life to this community and to standing up on behalf of my people. I am for what is right, for justice. It is not a popularity contest. It is about having the courage and the conviction to do what is right, and I want to remind everybody here, everybody at this table, almost everybody in this room, you are only here because of people who stood up and
Yes, that's right.